So let's as I learned this morning, you're supposed to wait for a couple minutes, seconds, whatever, until people realize that you are live because
Oh,
then
okay.
they will join.
Yeah, because it pops up on the notification. That's right.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I wonder if you can actually, because this is my channel, whatever it's called, I wonder if
Uh-huh.
you can go to my LinkedIn and copy if there's like a link to join the live stream so you can share it with your audience.
Let's see. I'm actually just logging in and let's check.
Cool. So as you're doing that, I'm going to shoot the breeze. Um, Now today it's funny that we are live. Not funny because it's going to be a great topic. We're going to talk about an event that you are planning. What is funny is that this is happening to begin with because like a year ago, there is no way that I would be talking at a camera.
Me neither. Me
Yeah,
neither. Yeah.
live
So
and
this
learn,
whole
right?
thing, yes, the whole thing of yeah. So I can. By the way, it's on LinkedIn.
Awesome. It's the
Yeah.
future of work, Meenakshi.
Exactly, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I can
cool,
see that people are logging in. Oh, this is great.
awesome.
So I'm actually, oh, I got set up in preparation for the event. I got set up with two screens. I'm such a minimalist. I just use my laptop for everything and you know, sit anywhere and work. So now I'm actually situated and I have another screen, which is great
Nice,
because now I can actually see that. So LinkedIn is over there.
nice. Okay, cool. So I will just let you look at questions and things because God knows that's beyond that's above my pay scale, above my pay grade. Um, anyway, we are live. We have viewers. Hello, viewers. Meenakshi, if there's anyone that comes up that you want to say hi to, please go for it. Because I'm not that skilled.
No,
But
that's all right. Yeah. So I see, looks like Mindy's on. I'm not
hey,
able to
Mindy,
tell. Um,
she's there in spirit, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, she's already hit like on this, so
Nice, cool. Yes, we have a fan. Anyway, let's get started officially,
yep.
and that bit we can edit later. Anyway, hello, happy
Hello again.
Friday.
Yes, indeed. Thank
Ah,
you.
it's been
It's
a
been
good
a
week.
week.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been busy. It's been busy, but it's been a good week. Yes.
Exciting week for you next week, which we'll
Yes,
talk about.
indeed.
Let's introduce ourselves first, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who is watching, so maybe it's people who know you, maybe they know me, maybe they know both. But I'm Magda, and I'm here in my capacity as Magda, as well as my capacity as CEO of Coacharia. Meenakshi is joining me. She'll talk about herself in a bit, but she's many, many things. Those of you who are Coacharia community members will have seen her in a couple webinars, and she is now enrolled with us in our coach training program. She's everywhere and nowhere all at once. Um, and today we are here because we want to talk about an event that Meenakshi is putting on with a bunch of fabulous speakers and panelists, apparently including me. And apparently I mean the fabulous bit. We'll see how I perform. But Meenakshi, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce this event that we are talking about today, which is the fourth industrial revolution for IR and the future of work.
Yes, indeed. By the way, I was just able to post. So let's see. I posted, shared the event
Oh,
through.
awesome. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll
let's
have
see.
some more people.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, let's see. So, yes, so first of all, thank you very much, Magda, for being such a fantastic partner in the event. And also, I met you and Coach Arya 6 months ago now, sometime in September, October of last year. And I actually found Coach Arya through LinkedIn, which is fantastic considering that
We've
we are on
come full
LinkedIn Live.
circle.
Yes, exactly. My name is Meenakshi Iyer, and I'm the founder and principal of North Star Solutions and Services, physically based in a suburb called Ashburn in Virginia on the east coast of the United States. But I'm set up to be a virtual business, so I consider myself a boundaryless business. And what do I do? North Star Solutions and Services is I would say, a personification of all of my passion when it comes to inclusive people development. And what I'm all about is promoting organizational agility through inclusion. And within organizational agility, I consider personal agility as a part of that. And in terms of background, my experience has been spanning more than 2 decades. It's been in IT services, health IT, and I've worked in different cultures and in two main countries, India and the US, primarily. And after being at it for more than 2 decades, I decided to take a break from being employed to becoming self-employed, and here I am. So the event that you referenced, Magda, which is a webinar series, all next week, May 11th to the 16th. And I'll tell you why I said the 16th and not the 15th in a minute.
Okay.
It's on the fourth industrial revolution and the future of work, a global perspective. So that's the title of the webinar series. And because it's global, it covers all time zones. So by the time we come to the close of the event on Friday afternoon, it'll actually be the 16th in parts of the world. So
I
we have
like it.
speakers. Yeah, we have
It'll be the
speakers.
future.
Yes, it'll also be the future. Like, remember Susan Hansen? So we have one of our speakers is from the lovely Waiheke Island off the coast of Auckland in New Zealand, and so wanted to be full, represent everyone fully, and hence it's May 11th to the 16th. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, so the idea was to um, the genesis of this happened several months ago when I attended a few remote conferences myself, including a full-fledged one, and that kind of I had that planted the seed in my head. But more importantly, in the last since the start of the year, so I've always followed the Davos meeting, the Davos summit that happens every year, organized by the World Economic Forum. But I think this year, one, now I am an entrepreneur myself, and two, I really had the time and space to follow the meeting, focus on all the issues that were being raised. And what was interesting for me was that the theme for this year actually is stakeholders for a cohesive and sustainable world. And that's something that really resonated with me because I'm one of those people that believe in an ecosystem approach to things, which is also I still remember one of the sessions I attended through Coach Arya was a webinar on systemic coaching by Dr. Peter Hawkins. And that really resonated with me because I am a systems thinker. And so, and that's what I want to bring to the table because I think that all things are interconnected. Everyone is interconnected. The ongoing pandemic is an example, if nothing else, right? So, um, I wanted to be the purpose of the event for me was to build a platform for thought leadership that's interdisciplinary, multicultural, and then focuses on organizational agility, but from a very holistic perspective. So bringing in elements of agile, lean, human-centered design or design thinking, all of that in one platform, and then be truly global and inclusive. So I know that's a mouthful, but that was my attempt to sort of, as I start my the third phase of my life and career with North Star Solutions and Services, to build that platform and do something towards it. So God willing, I'd like to do this, make this an annual event. This is the first time. And so the theme of 4IR and the future of work, the reason I landed there were several. Number one is the World Economic Forum Davos Summit that I talked about, and the theme that happened this year. Then there were a couple of things, this year seems to be outside, like right now, I don't think anybody can think beyond COVID-19, but this year is start of a new decade. Other than that, there are quite a few sort of anniversaries, if you will, which is interesting. Number one, it was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day this year. This year is also the 25th anniversary of the Beijing Women's Conference. And not a lot of people talk about this or really pay attention to these things. Um, so the United Nations organized 4 world conferences specific to women and women empowerment and women's rights. And the Beijing one, the reason why it stood out was it really marked, it was a landmark in the work that the UN is doing in this space. And so this year was the 25th anniversary of that. And if all of us might remember that the theme for International Women's Day this year was generation equality, and it went back to sort of commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Beijing Women's Conference. So there were all of these things that sort of, and it was one after the other, because January was the Davos Summit, and then we had the Women's Day. And then Earth Day in April. So it sort of kind of came together. And this week is International Coaching Week.
Yay!
Right, and coaching is coming across as one of the most needed skills for leaders. And if you look at the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, collaboration and people management and emotional intelligence, these are in the top 10 skills, which didn't used to be the case until a few decades ago. So um, these are all the reasons why
Lots of good reasons, yeah.
to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of things are popping into my head. One of them is the future of work is really now, and I wonder even the things that were discussed, as part of the different anniversaries so far this year. I wonder how they will be addressed now, just with the impact of the past 2 months. I just read an article this morning about article. Was it an article or was it a tweet? Who knows? So many things. Someone talked about, I bet that the next big job people are going to start hiring for is chief productivity and remote working officer, or like VP of that, whatever, because it's important. So anyway, it's an interesting topic, but I kind of, because there's a lot, and I kind of want to unpack it. So let's take a step back.
Certainly.
What is the fourth industrial revolution?
So it's that's actually what got me into this. So I was like, I'm reading about this 4IR, the fourth industrial revolution. What on earth is it? There's a whole bunch of, so this term was coined by the founder of the World Economic Forum, Professor Klaus Schwab, and he coined the term for fourth industrial revolution and 4IR. And in fact, if you go on the World Economic Forum's website, there are all these lovely, very short but very informative videos. He talks about it where it's like it's the digital economy, everything is digitized, and you have a convergence of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. There's globalization, of course, and it's a space, and we're already in it, by the way, which is the other thing. With my limited knowledge and experience, when I looked for information on this, and even the chatter around me and on the internet and on LinkedIn, technically, so the theme for the Davos Summit in 2016, they talked about 4IR then, and that's almost like four years ago now. And what was surprising to me was that although we talk about the effects of the fourth industrial revolution, I didn't find enough discussion, meaningful conversations around what it really means for us. So to answer your question, it is a culmination of everything digital. That's my takeaway from that. And you're seeing that right now. So, for example, in the midst of the pandemic, one of the things that is coming up is contact tracing and use of technology to do that. And then you have the question of ethics, and you have the question of public-private partnership, and how do you make all this work? So it's a very sort of complex, much more complex than we've ever seen. That's the kind of scenario that we're getting into. So there are, and I forget the names of those now, but there were several phases, if you will, right? So we had the original first industrial revolution, and right now he calls it the fourth because of the way it's morphed and where we are today from a digital economy perspective.
Given that and the vastness of topics that comprise this, what kind of person should attend this event?
I would say it's ideally our ideal audience or tribe would include anyone that's part of the knowledge work or knowledge economy, because we're talking about one, anyone that has the ability to work from home and is set up to do that, because of the nature of the event, it's only those folks that who are set up with internet at home or wherever they are, and use this technology on a regular basis. It's accessible to them, and it's also relevant to them because we are looking at, so some of the topics I want to also touch upon the topics and answer this question. We're looking at, okay, what are the skills that you need to survive in the fourth industrial revolution? We are already in there. What does agility really mean, other than just being a buzzword that it unfortunately has become in some industries? What is organizational agility? And one tends to hear the acronym VUCA: volatility, uncertainty,
Mm.
complexity, ambiguity. Um, is VUCA such a scary thing, or can we have a different perspective on it? So these are some of the topics and themes that we're looking at, and the one other very important aspect is, how can we have a planet first strategy of doing business? And that goes back to the theme of the Davos summit this year, where they talk about, first of all, they talk about stakeholders, not just stockholders or shareholders. They talk about stakeholders, which is a much diverse and inclusive community. So it's about businesses also doing good as much as about doing well. And so, we, and this is again, right, what Dr. Hawkins talks about is, we are one part of the ecosystem. We don't own the ecosystem. The humanity doesn't own the ecosystem, but we tend to behave that way. So what is it that we can do, as organizations and businesses, that to take that into account and to take sort of a systems approach to doing work and doing business? So we this webinar series will be valuable to anyone that's in the knowledge economy, anyone that's a knowledge worker, um, anyone that comes from a world of business across all levels, because we have something for everyone. And the other thing is, we have taken care, we paid special attention to make it global. So we have people from, speakers and panelists from 6 different countries, and 7 time zones,
Wow,
covering different topics. Yeah, so it's come out, it's come together so beautifully. We are a team of 21 people, including myself, that's come together to do this.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the magic, all of virtual networking, LinkedIn and Meetup and whatnot. Out of all the speakers, there's about 3 or 4 of them maybe that I've actually known for a long time and or worked with them. Majority of them are folks that I've met through Coacharya, through other forums, just Star and Me and LinkedIn. We have not met in person at all. We've only done Zoom meetings.
But
And
that's
so,
the new normal, right? That's the new
yes,
that
and it is, and you're absolutely right. So it's like, I think we should probably stop saying future of work because it's here.
exactly. As you were talking, as I was thinking, you mentioned agile, and yes, it's a buzzword, maybe not, because it's been used for such a long time now. But
Yes,
things like that. There's just, we've changed how we work already.
yes, yes,
Going from shareholders to stakeholders, I feel like people who still don't think about stakeholders but shareholders, they're old school. It's not that this is the future, it's just this
yes,
is the now.
yes,
So I feel like, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as I'm listening to you, what I'm understanding is this is an event. Literally, people, anyone who can actually access this chat that we have right now, or who
yes.
will watch it later, chances
Will be,
are, if this even come across your screen, it's probably relevant to you.
yes. I would
And
say, I would say
yeah,
so.
and then future of work is really, it's not necessarily even the future of work. Is what are we doing? What are we embracing? What should we be embracing? Um, that's working, and that's going to make work better. It's going to make the planet a better place. That's going to reconcile those two things: profits and,
The planet.
survival, frankly,
Yes, it's true.
of this planet.
Yeah.
How to do it best. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to, I think, changing how I'm going to think about some of these things, because I am a bit tired um, of the buzzwords being used as if it's, something strange. Even what you just talked about meeting, like you and I will never get over this. You and I have
I know
never met in person,
that
ever.
is true. That is true.
I feel like we're old friends. I've never met you.
Yes,
And
and we actually just met online for the first time in January.
yeah,
And that was the first like webinar thing that I did, right?
yeah.
I think I showed up as a panelist on one of your webinars, 𝐭𝐻𝐬𝐬 webinars.
Yeah, and I feel like
Yes,
so we do in a very limited way, but we do work together,
yes,
and
yes,
it's working. And I think what frustrates me a little bit is like, well, let's try this anyway. No, this is how it is. It's just like I've never in my interactions with you, never did I think to, oh, I wonder how we're going to be able to communicate. Like you just
yes,
do. So anyway, I think this will be a pretty interesting event from that perspective of kind of maybe shifting mindsets and
yes.
shifting your paradigm a little bit. Like
Absolutely,
this is the
absolutely.
future.
The future is here.
The future is now. We're back to the future.
But something that came up for me when you said that is, and as I think through the speakers and the topics that they're going to talk about, a lot of it is going back to the basics because it's all about people.
Yeah.
Your processes and your products and your technology, they're all only as good as your people. If you don't understand because at the end of the day, why are you building all this? To serve people. And if you don't understand people, if you don't understand where they come from, which is where inclusion plays such a big role,
Mm,
we tend to talk about diversity so much, but then, and this is something that I strongly believe in, and it's one of the tenets for me at North Star, is that diversity is a fact of life. It exists. You don't have to create diversity. So to me, I say that diversity is a fact of life, and inclusion is how you choose to interact with this fact. So unless and until we are intentional about including everyone, different perspectives and different experiences, um, I don't think we can be successful in building a digital economy. Because at
mm,
the end of the day, it's based on human needs, and you're trying to do something, make something better for human experience.
yeah.
And that's the theme that I'm hoping attendees will catch as well. The other thing is the attendees that have folks that have registered so far. I was very pleased to see that several of them have registered for several sessions, and I'm hoping that they're able to attend because that's when they'll see the whole spectrum of the sessions.
Mm,
Anyway, the point I wanted to make was, it's no rocket science. It is all going back to the basics. It's about empathy, it's about inclusion, it's about understanding human needs and who's your customer, who are you servicing, and what are you, and starting with why, right?
yeah.
Like Simon Sinek says, going back to understanding the why.
Um, Susan, who you mentioned, who's a
Yes,
dear friend, I really liked how she explained to me. I kept saying design thinking, design thinking. It's another one of these things we should dispel during this conference. It's human-centered
centered
design.
design.
And what you're talking about is a human-centered world. So we're talking about
Yes.
forget all the other crap. Race does not matter. None of these things matter. It's the humanity that matters. Um,
In the context of our planet.
in the context of our
That
planet, exactly. And
that's
yeah,
the other, as
yeah,
an ecosystem.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So man, there's so many questions I have. In the interest of time,
Yes,
let's talk about some logistical kind of things. Like what is the format of this event?
certainly. So, in the because we wanted to keep it global, so there are a few things. So I applied a lot of human-centered design principles on this. Number one, who we are targeting, primarily, like I said, knowledge workers, folks that participate in the knowledge economy. What are they doing right now? Everybody's working from home. They're doing multiple roles at home. Everybody's already sort of zoomed out, right? We have so many Zoom meetings in a day. Do we really want one more Zoom meeting? Do we really want a conference? So I've been very particular about how I've called it. So I'm calling it a webinar series because that's what it is. It will look like a conference if one chose to attend all of the sessions, which a lot of people in several time zones can do. They will be able to attend all of the sessions if they have the time and if their schedules permit them. So the way the format is that there are 3 different time slots in every day. So 8 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. Eastern. Basically, so I'm located in the east coast of the United States. So I looked at it as east of me and west of me. So 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern is east and east of me. And even 11 a.m. is also good for the rest of the US. But 8 p.m. is, focusing on the folks on the west of me. So all the way from the central part of the US, the west coast, Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, APAC. And we have speakers and attendees from that part of the world as well. So there are Monday through Friday. And then some of the other design elements that we kept in mind was that Monday morning, even if you want to, you probably do not want an 8 a.m. webinar. So we are starting off at our kickoff is at 11 a.m. Eastern on Monday. And we also appreciate that everyone wants to close it out early on a Friday. So we end with 11 o'clock session on Friday. So we'll end by 1 o'clock Eastern on Friday. So Monday, there's 2 sessions. 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there are 3 sessions each on each day. So that's a total of 9, again, on those same time slots. And then Friday, we have 2 sessions, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. And to give it like a conference feel, we've also, and to allow people to interact outside of these sessions, we have 2 dedicated meet and greet sessions as well. That's on Wednesday night, the 13th of May, one at 5 p.m. Eastern, because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and then 10 p.m. Eastern again to take care of the folks on the west of me. So that's the format. They're all 60 to 90-minute sessions. The talk itself will finish within the first 60 minutes, and we have budgeted for some informal networking within each session. So that's the remainder of the half hour, the last half hour of every session. And that's informal if there are additional questions for the speakers, or if someone wants to hang back. Imagine what happens in an in-person conference. People will generally tend to hang back and chat with the speaker. So wanted to take that same experience and allow for that to happen in a virtual environment. So one of the other tenets that I've practiced is design for everyone. So I try to step back and say, okay, it's not a virtual event, it's an event. How would I do it? So that's the format.
And what is the cost of this event?
It's actually a free event. It's free for attendees. No strings attached, no marketing emails from anyone. It's a free event. And I have to give a special shout out to my event technology partner for this. It's a platform called uvcity.com. If you haven't heard of them, you have to check them out. They are an educational social network. So the platform is set up not only to network, to meet people, but also to set up live sessions. So if Magda, you want to talk to everyone about the benefits of coaching, you can go create a session and just announce it on the platform, and it'll be there. If you want to charge people for that session, you can do so, because UVCity is integrated in the backend with PayPal. And it's integrated with Zoom in the backend, a professional level Zoom. So all you have to do is set up your sessions, and the UVCity will take care of the rest. It'll send out reminders so people can register for your course. It's open. It's like Eventbrite. So it's like Eventbrite, LinkedIn Learning, and a meeting space and a calendar all put
Cool.
together. Yeah. So it's a really cool
Looking forward to
platform.
checking it out during the conference, or
Yes.
during the event.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So all of the all attendees will be rerouted to UVCity to register, and all you need is your name and email address. That's all UVCity asks for to register, and you will find that you will actually be inspired to connect with all the other members on the platform that are already there. So you'll be able to find all of our sessions listed on the UVCity landing page.
Awesome. And what is the landing page? I mean, I put it in here, but just
in
the chat. Where do you
I'll give
register?
I'll give the link. So you can register 2 ways. One is my website, the North Star Solutions and Services, so northstar@work.com. I'm actually pulling it up. Just a second. All of the sessions are listed.
Okay.
I think I will put it on the chat window here, I guess.
Yeah, stick on the chat window, please.
Okay. And then another way to register is through UV City,
Okay, great.
our partner website.
So, is there anything we haven't covered yet? I don't think
Um,
so. Are there?
no,
Ah, some speakers. Maybe tell me some of the speakers and what
oh yeah.
topics they're covering.
So, yes, absolutely. So we have our keynote is by the fantastic, lovely Ann Steiner. She's the VP of Product Agility at C Prime, which is a US-based company but a global company. And in fact, they are platinum vendors, platinum partners of Atlassian. And so Ann Steiner has graciously agreed to do the keynote, and she's going to talk to us about the pace of change and the future of work. If anyone out there that's attended Anne's webinars through C Prime, you know what you're in for. It's a treat. She's always on point, and she has a fantastic sense of humor, so you're going to love it. There are other topics on other speakers are talking about collaborative leadership going forward. The days of a heroic leader are over. It's all about collaboration. It's about inclusion, globalization. So there's a speaker that's in fact my mentor, David McConney. He's going to talk about collaborative leadership. We have Hema from founder of Inspur from Melbourne, Australia. She's going to talk about personal agility. Then we have uh, um, an entrepreneur from India who who did a very successful experiment of doing good while doing well. And he's going to talk about that. Madhav of Pincular Testing Labs. He's going to talk about that on Friday. And then we have several Coacharya alumni and current learners participating as well. So I'm quite excited about that. Mindy Mosier, Coacharya alumna, she's going to present talking about retooling and reinventing yourself for the new world. That's on Tuesday morning. So yeah, I mean, what I have to say this, um, it's a group of people that have come together and they're working like a team. And that for me is like a dream come true. This team is probably even better than any of the teams that I've worked with that I myself have built from scratch. You know what I mean? Especially since more than half the people are like you and I, where we've never met in person. So there is a lot of trust, a lot of transparency, a lot of openness and commitment to be willing to come together. Because at the end of the day, it's a grand experiment that I'm doing because
Yeah.
I've never done this before. So yeah, and our partners. So our partners are C Prime, UV City, The Star and Me, co-founders Uma and Mahua. They're also speakers. It's a digital career advancement platform for women, designed exclusively for women. Then there is all of the other independent business owners. There are coaches. There are several ICF coaches too. Catherine Spinney is one of them. And then Sri Harsha, he's an agile coach based in the UK. So he's part of that as well. So yeah, it's a good mix. It's and Zoya, she's the inclusion and diversity lead for Accenture Canada, and she's a very very dear friend of mine. And so there's people from we have people from the U.S., Canada, UK, India, Australia, and New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good
pretty
mix.
exciting.
Yes, it is. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless of and the other thing, we are going to show up no matter what. So even if there's one person that's valuable to us, so we are going to show up no matter what. And for us, it's the operating principles are collaboration over competition and give before you get.
I love it. And so we kick off on Monday
Yes,
at
Monday,
11
11
a.m.
a.m. Eastern. Yes,
Eastern.
ma'am. Yeah.
And the registration link is in the chat a couple times, both if you're watching on YouTube or on LinkedIn Live. I put it in the YouTube one as well.
Oh, perfect.
And
Thank you.
yeah. And of course, you can always rewatch this and take a look at the comments. I've also linked the World Economic Forum for those of you who want to learn a
Yes.
bit more about the fourth industrial revolution. And I've also linked the future of systemic leadership coaching
Yes.
talk that Peter Hawkins did that inspired Meenakshi and that introduced her to this world. So thank you, Peter. You connected us without
Yes.
even
Yes.
knowing it. What a great
Absolutely.
guy.
Yeah.
But it's really, really exciting. It sounds like a bunch of people who are like-minded and all want to give before they get and
That is true.
collaborate before
That is true.
compete have come together to make this very interesting event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm on a panel. Hopefully, I'll contribute something useful. If not, I can always say, "Hey, Meenakshi, my
Well,
part
that's the
was
other
this."
thing. The two panels, one of the panels that the one you're on, Magda, is on, as you know, women in the workplace in the 4IR world. What does that look like?
Mm,
And the second panel, we close out with a panel on Friday, and that's on collaborative leadership for a global workforce.
nice.
So that's another Coacharia learner is on board, and actually she's in my cohort, Rebecca.
Woohoo!
She's part of that panel as well. Yeah.
God, we're good.
Yes. Just how everybody kind of everybody's paths kind of crossed with a purpose. I can't get over that. I'm just so
This is the
excited
future of
about
work.
it.
It
Is,
totally
it
is,
is,
isn't
it
it?
is, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and thank you for this opportunity to spread the word, and really looking forward to it.
Me too. And to anyone who's watching this live or later, please, please support the event. It's free, doesn't cost you
Yeah.
anything, but
Yes.
what you will get in return is knowledge, networking. You get to interact with lovely Meenakshi and a little bit with me.
Yes.
But you can just ping me no matter what. I'll interact with you. You know that I'm a talker. Um, so you have no excuse not to attend because there is something for everybody in terms of topic, something for everybody in terms of time. And yes, Meenakshi.
No, a couple of there's going to be some takeaways for the attendees. Not just there's three things I want to talk about. One is our event technology partner UVCity is giving away one $30 gift card every day to the attendees. So it's a raffle, and two, there is a LinkedIn group that's been created which will continue to exist even after the event. So in order to build the community. And third thing that every attendee gets is to be part of the UVCT platform and to continue to interact with the speakers and the panelists, both on LinkedIn and on UVCT. Yeah. So those are the three tangible takeaways for everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I have nothing else to say because I'm excited and everyone should attend and participate.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for watching.
Bye. Yes. Thanks, Magda. Bye.